I'm David Bowie.
David, tell us a little bit about your first musical influences, if you will. What got you into music? What are the first memories you have?
I think the first songs that ever made any impression on me were I Put a Spell on You by Screaming Jay Hawkins. Probably Who Wears Short Shorts. And then, inevitably, Little Richard, I think. I got some 78s from my father, who was working with a charity organisation in England for children. And some American 78s were sent to him, 45s, rather. 45s were sent to him. And I had no means of playing. He said, do you want to look through these and play any of them? And I took a couple of them, which were the Little Richard ones. And the only way I could play them was on a 78 machine. I used my finger and tried to get them up to speed. So I had Little Richard sounding quite extraordinary. Probably did a lot for the way that I approached music in a real deconstructivist manner after that. I heard him at several speeds all at once, and it sort of made sense. But it was the excitement that came off the record that turned me on. And when I got to see him, there was a film that came to our neighborhood called Disc Jockey Jamboree. I don't know what it was titled in America. I think it had a different title. And he had a couple of spots in that. And he had this fantastic saxophone lineup. And I said, that's what... I was about 8 years old. 8? Yeah, just about 8. And I said, if I played saxophone, then I could join the Little Richard band one day. So that's kind of my first movements into music. Sort of on what's called hire purchase in England, which was you paid a little bit of money each week. I had a job in as delivering meat on a bicycle on Saturday morning. And so that was the way I paid it off. We got a very cheap saxophone. I started playing saxophone, 8 or 9. Then I found one of our great saxophonists, Ronnie Ross, who was, I think, in third in the polls to Jerry Mulligan as one of the leading baritone players in the world. Lived not far away from me, so I phoned him up and I said, will you give me lessons? And he said, all right, I don't usually do that, but come over Saturday morning. So I went over and he would give me lessons for 6 lessons. And I said, right, I can join a rock band now. The irony of that is that when I was producing Lou Reed, we did Walk on the Wild Side as a single from the album Transformer. I hired Ron Ross to play the baritone solo at the end of the single. And at the end, by then I'd been transformed into red hair and no eyebrows and all that. And I walked out into the studio and I said, you were my first teacher, you know. He said, what? I said, I was that little 8-year-old kid that used to come over on Saturday mornings. He said, my God. And that was it. It was really desultory. I felt so bad, but he did a wonderful solo.
You know, we were interviewing Lieber yesterday, and we did Mike Stoller the other day.
Yeah.
He wrote Hound Dog, and I heard that song was very important to you because apparently a cousin of yours or something went wild dancing.
That's right. Christina, my cousin, used to play the Presley things. And around that same time, I found that the mystical knowledge that Elvis and I shared the same birth date, January 8th. And then I thought, well, it all makes sense then. I have a special purpose. Obviously, that's what I've got to do. I've got to be the English Elvis. That's what I'd be. So from 9, I knew that that's what I was going to be.